Hey y'all, this is My Hero Analysis, a podcast about My Hero Academia, aka Boku no Hero Academia. We are three grown adults who mine Japanese children's cartoons for serotonin because God knows our brains aren't making it naturally.
Hey everybody, this is Fern. I am in the middle of moving shenanigans and lots of details to take care of. So we're feeling a little manic today. How are y'all?
Little manic, little stressed. It's fine.
We'll get there.
I hope so. I hope it doesn't go badly.
No, it'll be fine.
Well, I'm Nicole. I'm also feeling a little manic because I finished like something on my to-do list, and that always makes me so happy. I kind of flap my arms around like a very normal, neurotypical person. I also put my Christmas decorations up because why not? There's no rules. Time is a flat circle.
Exactly.
Well, that sounds fun. Hey, y'all, it's Maria. I am not manic for once.
How the turntables.
I know.
How'd you manage to send it to us?
I don't know. I've been having a pretty good week. I took a bubble bath at some point this week and did a face mask, did my notes on time. Like, I am adulting. Like, this doesn't usually happen.
I'm so proud of you.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
It's a weird week for me.
Well, maybe next week that'll be all of us.
Who knows?
I mean, next week is a holiday week, so probably.
Oh shit!
Not.
Yeah, we're like not even recording. For listeners, we're recording this episode on like November 17th. So
yeah, because we're
an illusion.
Yeah, who needs to know what time is?
I never know. I just exist. That's where we're at. I just exist.
Yeah, I never know what day it is anymore. I blame COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Collective group sigh.
The only reason I know what day it is because I have a lot of paperwork to sign and we have to sign and date everything. So
yeah.
Gross. Yeah. My condolences.
Yeah, that's paperwork.
It's fun. It's not fun, but it's fun.
Sure. Yeah, we believe you.
So is there any news this week? I don't think so.
No, not that I've seen, just the usual Twitter squeeing and TikTok nonsense, but nothing official. Yeah. We still don't have a date for season 6, unfortunately. The last I saw it'll be in spring, just like season 5 was.
Another collective group sigh.
How dare they take time to make your product?
I have a lot of other things to give me serotonin, so we're good. At least I'm good.
Nicole and I are not.
No, I have nothing giving me serotonin right now. I need to start watching TV
again. Yeah, I think we just need new hyperfixations.
Yes.
See, I hyperfixate on everything. So, and accomplish nothing at all, but that's beside the point.
We're not worried about that part.
No.
Yeah, no. Right now, my hyperfixation is so Animal Crossing got a new update, and so I've been playing Animal Crossing like every day, and it's been great.
Ooh.
I kind of want to completely like get a new island and start over because I've forgotten how to play.
Do it.
Don't tempt me. I have too much to do.
Do it. It's so much fun.
I know.
And now you can actually go, like, you can get a job and go to another island, and like, it's so much fun.
I don't want a job in my video game.
I thought half the point was that you didn't have a job.
Yeah, it was bad enough I had to pay rent to a crooked raccoon. Now I have to get a job on a whole other island. No, thank you. I'm going to water my flowers.
It's a mortgage.
It's a mortgage. Fine.
What the fuck is this game?
There's an evil, crooked, capitalist raccoon dog, and you have to pay him in a currency he invented, and you can get furniture out of trees. That's pretty much what I remember.
Well, alrighty then.
This is not an ad. We
It's a
just
lot of
enjoy playing it.
This is
a
now
lot of fun.
an Animal Crossing podcast.
Yeah, a little bit.
It comes up
bit.
often.
That damn
All right.
raccoon.
Well, this is in fact an anime podcast.
Dang
So
it.
let's get to it. This week, we're covering episode 13 of My Hero. The title is In Each of Our Hearts, and the accompanying manga chapters are chapters 20 and most of 21. And this also means this is a season finale. What the fuck? How did time move so quickly?
Again, time is an illusion.
It moved so quickly because all the other seasons are going to be twice as long. So,
That's true.
Yeah, which is fun, but also it's a little discombobulating going back to the shorter season.
For
Yeah, and
sure.
2021 has been a freaking roller coaster. Like I don't remember anything that happened in
No.
2021, and I've had 3 jobs in this year. By the way,
Yep. That's why you don't remember anything. You've had 3 jobs.
She's just been coasting on last minute panic for the last 8 months.
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, back to the podcast. Back to the anime.
Yes, back to the episode. We haven't even started on the timeline yet. So the episode opens, as it usually does, with a brief recap. So All Might has his Go Beyond plus Ultra moment. We get the One for All space sequence. All Might literally punches Nomu out of the arena and then comments that he's gotten weaker and that he's also out of time. So his large form starts to steam because it's about to disappear. And so All Might turns to Shiggy and Kurogiri, like, let's finish this. Shiggy is freaking out because All Might just completely wrecked their shit. And we're all caught up.
Yeah, and I just want to say that All Might got 50 times hotter when his life fell apart. So that's where I'm at the start of this episode.
I agree. Awesome.
I don't know, but he managed it.
He really did. I can't stop looking. Also, Shiggy's breakdown is even funnier the second time around, even though it was only like a flashback.
Yeah, no, Shiggy's breakdowns are giving me life. Also, when he said, what cheat did he use? I don't remember if we picked up on this last time, but there goes another gaming reference just like chucked at us.
I think we mentioned it, but
Yeah,
it's worth
and-
mentioning
I
again.
don't remember.
Well, in
I
the
was
dub, he doesnn't say what cheat. Sorry. In the dub, he doesn't say what cheat. So he just says you cheated, which like, no. But if he's saying what cheat did you use, that's very gamery.
So
Mhm,
gamery.
mhm.
And then we get the opening credits. It's the last time we get to see these.
No, I miss them so much. I just remembered I got another friend started on this show and she was very confused why the opening changed.
Oh.
Because this is also her first anime. So it's been a wonderful time watching that for her.
Yeah, I love the opening credits. It's so good. I need to start an anime music playlist. It's on my non-existent list of things to do. Also, I did not skip it this time.
Good job. Good job.
The song is just so good.
It is.
Okay, can y'all give me a second?
Yeah.
Sure, no worries.
Just imagine Fat Gum
Mm,
cheering you in the background.
mm. He's got a back rub waiting for me later.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love him.
With his smirks and his big wholesome smiles.
Mm-hmm. His perfect hugs.
I need a Fat Gum hug.
Oh my God. I feel like a fat gum hug would fix every problem I've ever had. It would probably also realign my spine perfectly, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Realign your spine, your chakras, all
Mhm.
your mental illnesses. They would just
Disappear.
be gone.
Yep.
Okay, we're good.
Okay. Okay, where were we? Point 3. We have not gotten very far.
We've gotten so far. We are at the bottom of the first page.
You know what? You're right. You're right. I need to adjust my perspective.
We've made progress.
We have. We're doing good. Okay, so to jump back into it, we cut to Momo, Jiro, and Kaminari, who have been captured by the villain whose fist we saw punching out of the ground earlier.
Yeah, like how even long ago was that? Because it feels like it's been years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has been a few weeks at this point, but again, time is but an illusion.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the kiddos start beating themselves up about letting Kaminari get taken hostage because they somehow should have predicted this. It's like the third day of class, but they all hold themselves up to impossible standards. They're all like this. It's a class of tryhards, and I want to protect them with my very life.
Yes, indeed. And also, I want to point out that Momo and Jiro are equally upset that Kaminari is in danger because he is a member of their polycule. So double whammy.
Yep. And then poor Denki looks both fried and terrified.
I like it. Denki would also appreciate, I think.
I giggled so much when I wrote that down. And then Momo and Jiro look like they want to like cut a bitch, but can't, obviously. Yeah. And I agree with you, Fern. It's kind of hard to keep your adrenaline pumping when you thought you had already defeated everyone and you knew the number one hero was finally around. So
like they did their best, right?
Well, they don't think they did their best, or Kaminari wouldn't be a hostage right now. That's the problem.
Well, I'm here to reassure them that they absolutely did their best. Because I would have been fucking useless, okay?
You're just floating over their shoulders like Pino does, reminding them that they are doing okay.
More than okay. You're doing amazing. So the villain reveals that they're also an electric type and they don't want to kill someone with a similar quirk to them, but they're definitely threatening to kill poor spaced out Kaminari. And Momo guesses correctly that this is the villain that was jamming the communications because she is a smart bean.
Yes, indeed. And I know it's not the time at all to point this out, but I love that they use like electric type and fire type as a shorthand for their quirks. It's very clear to newcomers to the property, and it also calls back to Pokemon, which of course is my favorite, and I will always have a soft spot for it. I also Denki is recovered enough from his short circuit.
Yeah.
He's recovered enough to be scared of the villain closing in to murder him, but unfortunately not recovered enough to be able to do anything about it. And I'm sure this contributes to his anxiety.
Probably. Also, what is with all these villains wanting monologues? But that's a rhetorical question. Anywho, Momo is a smart queen and Kami is just like, this is how I die.
Maybe. But yeah, so Jiro starts distracting the villain by asking about their motivation while she's like sneakily directing one of her ear jacks to the ground.
Yep. She's being very sneaky, but of course I had to pause and write an entire paragraph about this because she is a badass and is distracting the guy by pointing out that electric types have plenty of opportunities both in hero work and in regular work, like electrical engineering or whatever. And one, she is brilliant to use that. And two, I think this is a perfectly good question. And if their society wasn't so damn fixated on the glamour of hero work, I bet a bunch of people wouldn't have needed to resort to crime and or villainy like as part of their origin story. This guy could totally work at an electrical plant. Shiggy could work at a dump and literally eliminate all trash and plastic waste and be like the world's savior if they are also dealing with climate change in the My Hero world. But that's a whole other podcast. Kurogiri, like if we put aside his real actual history for a moment, could make bank transporting diplomats and shit from country to country. So like, as always, there's multiple fixes to society's problems if those at the top would just stop thinking of themselves for one goddamn minute.
Singing my song, babe.
This society is so exhausting. Just do other things. You don't have to be a celebrity. Also, knowing Jiro's backstory and her own struggles with choosing a career path that we will see in season 4, it's obvious why she was able to pull out this argument. So just look forward to that.
Yeah, and Jiro made a lot of valid points while she was trying to distract them. This is probably my favorite monologue this entire season because she so eloquently put into words the whole problem with quirks and honestly with Hero Society. While it is very likely there will be bad people who abuse their power because
I'm sorry, we can hear Spartan.
I was going to take a break after saying this. Take him to the bathroom.
No worries, babe. Go take care of your animal.
Let me just finish. Spartan. While it is very likely that there are bad people who abuse their powers, because sociopaths and psychopaths do exist, I think if more options were given to people and how to use their powers properly, there would probably be less violence.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Far less violence.
Oh, yeah.
And with that, I'm going to take Spartan to the bathroom.
No worries, babe.
He just wants to guest star.
That was so cute. I'm keeping that shit in. Okay, so if our boyos are the idiot polycule, what do I call the one with Momo and Jiro?
Yellow, purple. Because they're all yellow and purple.
Momo's red.
McDonald's and purple.
Oh my god.
Or they could be the band polycule.
And polycule plus Shinzo.
I mean, he has his voice filter. He could be any kind of singer.
That's true. That is true. I'm gonna have to think about that. I think I need something snappy.
Are we adding Monoma into it?
You know what? Why not? I'm really, really loving that TikTok series.
I know.
It's so much fun.
I mean, they're all blonde and brunette, technically.
Yeah. We need something they all have in common.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, this is difficult as shit. Damn.
How dare they all have three-dimensional personalities?
I know. How dare they not all be the exact same? Yeah,
I got
I'll mull
nothing.
that one over. Oh, the art bitch polycule. They all have art bitch energy.
Yeah, sure. What kind of art is Denki doing?
I don't know, but he's doing it.
He's the bitch in art bitch.
He's their bitch.
The art bitches and their bitch.
Okay, we're back.
No worries, babe. We were talking about what we were gonna name the Momojiro Kaminari Shinso Monoma polycule, and we came up with the art bitch polycule.
I can see it.
Yeah, it's like the only thing they have in common.
Yeah. I'm gonna think of something like as I'm falling asleep tonight, I'm sure.
Well, text me when you do.
Okay, I will.
Okay, so getting back to the timeline. So as Nicole and Maria mentioned, Jiro tries to distract the villain by getting him to talk, and he is very willing to talk. Unfortunately, he does catch her like sneaking her little ear jack towards the ground so that she can blast him with sound. So that doesn't work. It was a really good try. I'm really proud of her. Also, the other villains are starting to wake up. So that's not great. And like you both mentioned, this villain likes to talk a lot. So he decides that this is a great time to lecture them.
Yep. And when it switches over to like him noticing the earphone jack, he changes the deal that they had before, I guess. And now he's going to either kill Kaminari or kill them because they haven't learned to handle hostage situations. I think that's because they're literal children who just started their schoolwork. You fucking fuck.
You fucking fuck.
Exactly. All they were looking forward to that day was a semi-normal day in class. They weren't expecting to literally fight for their lives. Hell, they have only been in class for a week or two tops.
That was Maria's translation for key smash.
I love
was
when you
beautiful.
pronounce those.
Thank you,
Oh
I
my
tried.
God.
It was beautiful.
And you succeed. So we cut back to the center of the arena, and the idiot polycule looks all focused and determined. Shiggy's freaking out as per usual, scratching himself. Hey, sound crew, could you have picked a grosser sound for the scratching? That's not scratching. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's not scratching.
I have to disagree. I thought it was a very accurate scratching sound. I loved it.
It sounded like somebody was like shoving their fingers in an abscess.
Oh,
I'm with Fern on this one. The scratching sound immediately made my skin crawl and I got itchy. So I put on some lotion immediately. Like I think it was rose smelling lotion. I don't remember. I just put lotion on everywhere.
Shiggy comes on screen and it's a Pavlovian response to apply lotion. But also, again, and ad nauseum, Shiggy needs to apply some lotion and get some therapy and some quirk counseling. Side note, do they have quirk counseling in this world? And more,
nope.
And even if they do, is it free and accessible to all? Because I feel like that would solve your villain problem a lot faster than pro heroes. But
considering how many people have like literal mental breakdowns over their quirks and like turn to crime and stuff, I don't think so.
Damn it. It's almost like we could have fixed this very simply with just a little bit of therapy. But anyway, I didn't build this world. So in the dub, Shiggy comments to himself and he wonders if he's been lied to about All Might's current strength levels. And this shows that he's been led to assume that All Might is weaker than he used to be. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming that's his master's, aka AFO's doing, or his his intel.
Yeah.
Right?
I would assume so.
Yeah, maybe. But honestly, at any point of therapy at this point would be great. Also, they make ointment specifically for itchy skin. I know because I've used it because I'm somewhat allergic to mosquito bites, and just putting that out there.
Yeah. Just imagine Shiggy at the pharmacy looking at two different lotions with dead hands all over his body.
I just want to reach out to him and be like, dude, I got the tips. Like,
a certain somebody else
issue, bitch.
Issue. I was going to say, a certain other fellow is over in the hair dye aisle, but we haven't gotten to that yet.
That one too. I could help them both so easily.
So much.
Yeah.
And then All Might, the
delivery.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say delivery is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if they're getting their products delivered, they may get the wrong one, and then they wouldn't go back out again because they'd get frustrated because they're both buttheads.
I feel like there's a bit of projection happening here.
No, not at all. I definitely get replacements for products I need when I need them. Pickles is
Sure, Nicole. We'll just go with that.
Pickles is staring at me. She knows I'm lying. Nobody asked you, Pickles.
But yeah, back to the episode. This is like fourth time we've said this.
We are so on top of this.
Yeah. So, Shiggy's freaking out, scratching himself. All Might, the dumbass, starts taunting Shiggy, even though he literally just confessed to the audience that he was out of time.
I mean, he's not the brightest bulb in the commission's light bulb box. That was a bad metaphor. Anyway, All Might is like daring Shiggy to attack him, and Shiggy like freezes like a deer in the headlights, and like he obviously didn't plan for any other contingencies, and like once again, y'all have a bad strategy.
Yep.
Bad planning.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also think this is All Might's way of using Shiggy's own panic to kind of reverse psychology him into panicking more.
Yeah.
Plus, I think All Might also wants Shiggy to focus on him and not the idiot polykill that's just like hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
You know how AM loves his students.
Yeah, the idiot polycule are finally like, maybe we should go now. But Izuku, of course, wants to stick around because he knows All Might's bluffing. Because All Might literally can't move without shifting back to his small form. I am going to tie this man down and not in a sexy way.
But why not sexy way?
but the sexy way is the best. Plus, it would distract him from other things.
Okay, fine. He can have a little sexy way as a treat.
Yay!
And then, of course, All Might reveals via his inner monologue that what he's actually doing with this not smart move is stalling for as much time as he possibly can. So he's basically just running down like second by second.
Yeah, he's essentially running down the clock as he waits for the other backup to arrive. And honestly, this was a little refreshing and surprising because All Might's always been the one pillar of hero work, and he never waits for backup if he can help it, at least up to this point that we've seen.
Yeah,
and
he's never
I
needed it.
That's true. It's like, I wonder if this emergency is what sets in stone for him that he kind of needs to chill the fuck out. Or has his strategies just slowly been changing for 5 years? I feel like it's the former, but
considering he's out of time because he solved 3 incidents by himself this morning.
Yeah, like I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but it is Toshi, so.
Yeah. Well, also, All Might has never really had to worry about other people getting hurt because they have mostly been targeting just him.
That's a good point.
But this time, not only are they targeting him, but also the students. That alone is enough to have to rely on other people because it's not just him. Because villains usually only tend to focus on like the hero, but this time they're focusing on the hero and the students. Also, he most likely can take care of most villains, quote unquote, in under an hour without having to use nearly as much strength as he's had to with the Nomu. All of these things combined probably just made him have to stall for time, not just to protect our munchkins.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Forced into relying on others.
That sounds a little too close to home.
So, All Might lays his gauntlet down basically, and Shiggy's freak out doubles in intensity. Sound people, please, I am begging you. What did I do to you? What did I do? Why are you torturing me?
The visuals people got mad that you don't like the flapping limbs, so they told the sound people to just double down.
To that. Meanwhile, Kurogiri is like, dude, pull yourself together. What the fuck? This man-child really just wants his no-move security blanket because he's terrible. And he really needs to respect Kurogiri a lot more than he does. Yeah, it's like really hard to hate Kurogiri right now. Like, even when I first watched the episode and I had no idea about his backstory and I thought he was just like a run-of-the-mill villain, like it's really difficult to hate him. There's something about him that's just like intensely likable. So Horikoshi did good with that.
Yeah, agreed. Retweet, all the things. Yes.
Yeah, in these episodes, you can see just how much Kurogiri has to put up with the bullshit that is Shiggy. Again, he is acting like a toddler, throwing a fucking tantrum, and his mother has to coax him to do anything, like give him candy or something. Also, the mental image of Kurogiri in an apron and a feather duster is so fucking funny. I was giggling so hard.
I like that image. I like that a lot.
Oh dear. I think I've seen fan art of that somewhere. So go maybe search for it in your spare time.
Hey listeners, send me fan art.
Oh my God.
But anyway. So Kurogiri also notices the extensive damage that All Might has suffered during the fight. He's looking at the kiddos, at their facial expressions. To him, it looks like they're too frightened to fight. A lot of their minions are also waking up from being knocked out, and they still have a few minutes till more heroes show up. So Horikoshi is just really building up the suspense and the tension again. It feels like we're being set up for Villain Fight 2, Electric Boogaloo. And then, of course, Shiggy stops having a moment, finally, gets back with the program.
Calms down.
Means more video game references.
I am living for the video game references, especially now that I actually play them and they have become part of my everyday vocab.
Yeah.
I'm just having a grand old time.
Oh, so is Horikoshi, I think.
Even though it's Shiggy making the references?
Unfortunately, yes.
My condolences.
I mean, I can hate him as much as I want,
Yeah,
but
as you
he
should.
does make pretty good video game references. Well, I'm gonna put that up to Horikoshi. Horikoshi makes pretty good video game.
Okay,
There we go.
there we go.
For once, we're going to give him credit for something that a character does instead of blaming him.
Yeah.
So the idiot Polycule notices that they also notice that the other villains are waking up, and they decide to deal with them while All Might handles the main villains. But Shoto notices that Izuku is still staring at All Might, and he seems torn about what to do.
Yep. And like Bakugo and Kirishima face down the other villains who are getting to their feet, and they just plan to like keep him off All Might's back so he can focus on the other two. And there's a frame where Shoto is like very heckin' shocked, and he's just staring at both of them, and I think he's either shocked that they came up with a good plan or shocked that they're going to keep fighting. Also, cue Fern's squeeing about Totoshima, this one small juice sip.
I live on crumbs and droplets. Yes, that's true.
Mhm.
Shota! Anywho, also the fact that he's already paying attention to the small broccoli floret that is Izuku makes me incredibly happy.
Floret. I now imagine him just
Floret,
growing into a beautiful large broccoli with all the flowers.
Mm-hmm. Our beautiful broccoli
It's
boy.
a gorgeous visual.
Also, in the sub, Izuku marks Kurogiri as more dangerous than Shiggy, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I took it as Izuku knows that All Might is now slower than Kurogiri's portals now.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the line was like slightly different sub to dub.
Mhm.
Or I just misread as usual. Who knows?
Oh, these damn subtitles. We do get some nice shots of All Might's expression and his hand fading back to Deku's expressions and
Mhm.
hand. It's like a very nice, quick nod to the inheritance trope.
Absolutely. And then, of course, as he does, Shiggy ruins things by rushing at All Might and claiming it's revenge for Nomu. And I don't believe you, sir.
I mean, considering his later actions toward other league members, I didn't think it was like a total lie. He gets one half truth as a treat.
I can't believe you're the one defending him and I'm the one not. That's
He has
crazy.
like he has like one redeeming half quality, and I have to acknowledge it. Otherwise, he's not as engaging as a character.
I think he's lying this time, but I also
Sure.
see current Shiggy and later Shiggy as like almost two separate characters. So
That's true. Yeah.
I hate him. I have so much to say on the subject, but yeah, no, we'll just those 3 words. I hate him.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get to the Shiggy slander part soon enough.
oh yeah.
It's gonna be
So much
nice.
Shiggy slander. Be prepared.
Yeah.
Be very prepared.
So Kurogiri also rushes at All Might, who's like bracing for impact and desperate for the other teachers to show up. But then Izuku incoming because he uses One for All to leap to All Might in like one massive jump, which broke his legs. Of course it did.
Yeah, because it's been a while since we had some nice limb flapping.
Sound department, what do I have to do to get this to stop? We'll do it.
To be fair, we knew that Izuku at some point was going to pull some dumb heroic shit, especially if it comes down to protecting All Might.
Oh yeah, I saw it coming. Didn't make it any better.
Oh, Izuku.
Oh, Izuku. So Izuku aims a punch at Kurogiri's collar, but then Shiggy reaches through Kurogiri's warp gate so he can get a hand on Izuku, and Izuku finally remembers that this guy can dissolve shit with just a touch.
Also, it's worth pointing out that during the scene, the color schematics changed to red, yellows, and pinks. So one big thing about these colors, specifically red, is that they indicate danger or caution It's interesting that they used it for this scene. It adds to the high intensity of it, as well as, again, a huge indicator for caution. I mean, just most things like stop signs are red and a bunch of other things. So
Mhm.
I thought that was a very interesting choice.
Absolutely. Totally agree. For more information, listeners, go watch our bonus episode. Go listen to our bonus episode.
I mean, you
on
can watch
color
it
theory.
too if you can figure that out.
You will be watching an unmoving logo, but I mean, if that's your thing, that's totally chill.
But yes, go listen to the color theory episode. It's great.
But yeah, as Maria mentioned, they're definitely building up the suspense and the danger is in this scene. There's this dramatic slow-mo, Shiggy's creepy ass laugh. His hand almost touches Izuku's face, and bang! Shiggy gets shot in the hand. Fucking nobody saw that coming.
When I watched I had to pause it because I was laughing because I forgot it was all I could think of was the and a gun meme where somebody's cooking ramen and they had a gun, and I laughed for another 20 minutes. I'm laughing at it now.
So that meme is from Assassination Classroom, and you should totally watch it. It is completely done, and you're gonna enjoy it.
Nice.
So go.
Nice.
Putting it on the
Also,
list.
Here for
And a gun.
Yep. And a gun. It's beautiful. I'm here for Shiggy getting shot in the hand. Honestly, he deserves a lot more holes, but I digress.
Oh God.
Holes.
Well, he's gonna get him. So the other teachers are here, including Snipe, who, no lie, I was kind of obsessed with on the first watch, which I think is due to my mom being like a little bit obsessed with John Wayne movies. So like I grew up on really old cowboy movies. But anyway, Snipe's quirk is gun,
No.
very good at gun. And he
No.
also takes down the villain holding Kami hostage.
Yes, I do. Snipe's quirk is not just gun; it's a thing, but I forget
It's
what it
very
is.
good at gun.
Yes, he's very good at gun. It's not just gun. But we don't. I think we don't.
I'm teasing.
We don't
I
actually.
think it's something
learn-
like really good eyesight or something.
Yeah, we don't actually learn what his quirk is until like after the war arc, like in detail, which is interesting. Also, Snipe's name, like
Mhm.
hero name, was like the only one Fern liked up to this point on your first rewatch, on your first watch, not even rewatch.
That's probably true. It's a good name.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, I want more of Snipe. Even just like an episode where you follow what the teachers are doing.
Yes.
Also, Snipe literally went like boom, boom, motherfucker.
He's got
Literally.
panache, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
He's got presence. It's kind of criminal that he never gets used again.
He has a cowboy hat, and Fern is here for it.
So cut back to the entrance where we see a bunch of teachers gathered along with Nezu and Ida, who makes this like ridiculous announcement about his return. I love him.
It's so
Also-
intense.
He's so intense. Also, in the sub, there's this little moment where Ochako goes, Ida-kun! And her eyes get all like shiny and bright. And it was like a little bit shippy. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Sure. It was not remotely shippy sounding in the dub, in my opinion, but you ship whoever you want.
It's one of those very transient crushes, you know.
Yeah.
They're one
yeah.
day, gone the next. They happen.
Yep, they happen all the time. They're very annoying. Anyway, for the teachers that have arrived, we get some faces that we know and some faces that we haven't met yet. We will get to know Vlad King, Cementos, Snipe, who we already love, Hound, Ectoplasm, Power Loader's kind of crouched down in the corner. I almost didn't see him. Midnight and Present Mike. But also there are two others I didn't recognize. There was a blonde person with purple glasses or goggles, and then there was another person with pink hair over to Mike's right. And I need to know who all the teachers are immediately. Thank you.
I wonder if we ever learn.
Probably
Maybe.
not, but I still need to know.
Also, all of the children look extremely relieved that the teachers have arrived. Also, my wife Midnight is so hot.
Correct.
And I see why Fern is obsessed with Snipe. He looks very cool in his pose.
Yep.
It's just so cool.
Yep.
But then the other villains immediately start attacking. So PM makes this, or Present Mike makes a very Katsuki sounding and literally screams a wall of sound at them. Ectoplasm splits into a bunch of doubles, starts kicking ass. Cementos starts manipulating the ground into like these high walls to protect the students. So yeah, they go all out right away.
Yep. Also, Present Mike is pissed because Aizawa is his husband, obviously, and those are his students. Therefore, they are all their children. When he steps forward, you actually see Shoji behind him carrying Aizawa, and the implication everyone realizes is that he's fucking pissed that they hurt Shota, and now he's getting revenge, and he unleashes his voice quirk, and it's devastating. Like, this man could level cities and jellify every person he ever came across, but he's a hero and a good boy, so he holds back slightly.
Yeah, I giggled so hard when I saw how pissed Present Mike was. I was like, y'all done fucked up. Also, the fact that he's yelled, yeah, instead of something much more profane was how he was holding himself back because the children were present. This is my headcanon, and I am sticking with it.
Just imagine if he yelled, fuck you.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
We need to befriend the voice actor and be like, hey, listen, we need one thing from you, and then you'll never see us again.
Disappear off into the distance.
Okay, I'm fine.
You're welcome.
God, what we could have had.
What we could have had, man. We also what?
I said I'm glad I gave y'all that mental image.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah, we
thank you.
We are forever indebted. Also, Ectoplasm revealing his quirk as like copies of himself, like via smoke from his mouth. And I just have to say that we stand a disabled king.
Yes.
Yes. Ectoplasm. I've been giggling so much. Ectoplasm's kick was magnificent.
It was beautiful. Perfection.
Indeed. And Shiggy's like, okay, this time we're actually fucked and we need to go. And Snipe shoots him again. Because, like, okay, granted, Shiggy just tried to kill a fuckload of students and 2 teachers, but Snipe just keeps shooting. And yeah, I don't know. We're Americans. We have feelings about gunfights. That part was a little, I was like, oh, Jesus. But yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot, but my note right after is like Snipe shoots the fuck out of him. I was enjoying myself far too much as he shoots him in the arms, the legs. He's not leaving any scraps. I thought he should have shot him in the goddamn spine, but I digress.
I'm sure he was trying.
No, he could have. That's his quirk. He could shoot wherever he wants. He wasn't aiming for the spine as he should have. Snipe.
Yeah, I guess they were all non-lethal, huh?
Yeah, annoyingly non-lethal. But that's the law, I guess.
Carry myself for this because I literally cackled. I was just saying he needed more holes. You could say now he's holy.
Oh my God.
Get out right now.
Oh
I
my God.
cackled for like 10 minutes straight after I wrote this note. I had to pause, like over here in tears. Oh my God. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh Lord. Oh man.
You should be sorry.
So Shiggy's getting turned into Swiss cheese. Meanwhile, Kurogiri tries to warp Shiggy away, but then my absolute queen, love of my life, 13, steps in, and despite all her injuries, she starts doing this sucky thing that's preventing Kurogiri from leaving. And it almost works. And honestly, if she had been at full power and hadn't been like brutally injured, it probably would have. And like, I kind of wonder if this is why I forgot about her getting so badly injured, is because like I got swept up in the badassery of this moment and everything else just like fell out of my head.
Yeah, it's very possible. They just got like switched up.
Yeah. So right before they teleport away, Shiggy makes one last vow to kill All Might. And then he and Kurogiri are successful at getting away. And the incident is finally over, more or less.
Yeah. And the sudden quiet was like so eerie. It was a very good cinematic choice.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Also, they literally yeeted themselves out of existence.
They did. They really did.
So there are various shots of the teachers in various parts of the arena helping the kids deal with the incapacitated villains that were left behind.
Yeah, again, we have what we can only assume is future Izuku pointing out that they were not ready to experience what they had gone through because they're literal fucking children.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
And poor baby Izuku, still on the ground with his bones broken, beating himself up for not being more healthful, because that is what he does. But fortunately, All Might cuts him off and he was like, no, that's not true. Like, I'm very thankful that he did that and that he let Izuku know that he basically like saved him by buying him more time.
Yeah. And
Hold on one second, I'm so sorry. Alrighty, I'm good. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Okay. Well, All Might says he did like save him. And even though it was only like a few vital seconds, Izuku starts to cry when he realizes that he did in fact save All Might. He saved his idol. Everything's relatively okay. Even as he's literally laid out on the ground with broken limbs.
Mm-hmm. And then All Might is in kind of like this half shift state where half of him is large and half of him is small. It's a little odd. My brain isn't really sure what to make of it.
It's hot. That's what you make of it. It's hot. That's it.
All Might is hot in all forms. I don't make the rules.
Exactly.
Sure.
Listen, we'll fight you.
Oh, man. Well, anyway, of course, sweet baby Izuku starts crying. Poor Bean.
Of course.
Again, I get weird religious vibes from the scene with the light flashing between All Might and Izuku, including how Izuku is on the ground and All Might is standing up. But that might just be the religious trauma. Who knows?
No, I think you're right.
Yeah. Your religious trauma lets you recognize it.
So cut scene to a bunch of teachers at the entrance again, who are all just like, what the absolute fuck just happened?
Yeah. And this little like second scene was fucking suspicious, and we'll get to it.
And then, of course, back to our idiot polycule. Shoto theorizes that if so many teachers showed up, then the villains just attacked the arena and not the rest of the school. So good job, smart boy. And then Kiri rushes towards Izuku to see if he's okay, because he is a good boy. But if he gets much closer, he's going to discover Toshi's small form, because Toshi is now fully shifted back.
Yeah. And he's basically running to help Izuku, and All Might loves that about Kirishima. Then he realizes that his secret is about to be revealed. Like these two are the literal furthest from slick that I've ever seen in my entire life. God, I love them anyway.
Yeah, Kiri is the manliest of men. He is written by a woman. Yes, I know he's written by Horikoshi, but I said what I said.
Listen, I mean,
Oh my, what?
He could be good at his job in this one sentence.
Horikoshi getting 2 praises in one episode? What is this?
So weird.
Also, All Might both praising him and sweating profusely at the thought of being discovered is so iconic. He's not subtle at all.
Oh my God, none of them are. It's not just these two, because Cementos, in order to prevent Kiri from seeing Toshi, throws up this massive barrier to block Toshi from view. And he just tells the kiddos to head towards the gate because he's going to do some first aid here. And fortunately, Kiri as a himbo is like, that makes sense, and runs off and suspects nothing. But if he was any smarter, that would not have worked. That was so sus.
He's so sweet and so dumb. I love him.
I love him so much. He's so good.
Yeah, I love how deadpan Cementos was. He has the look of a man just done with the bullshit from everybody.
He does kind of have that vibe. So Toshi, now that he knows for a fact that he's not going to be seen, just totally collapses. Thanks to Cementos, who reveals that he's an All Might fan and offers to get him out without anyone seeing him, which was very nice. But also, you can see down Toshi's shirt and my poor man's ribs. He is stick thin.
Yeah.
He is. The sigh of relief that was simultaneous between All Might and Izuku shows that these two are father and son.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then Cementos gently admonishes Toshi for not being careful. And interestingly, Toshi goes, if I didn't act recklessly, I would have been killed, which is kind of an interesting logic reversal. And it's not wrong.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to react to save your own life and you can't think about it.
Mm-hmm. Also, like all of Izuku's facial expressions during that little exchange, he's so adorable.
He's a baby.
He's just a baby. But anyway, cutscene to a dive bar in a rundown building downtown. Kurogiri and Shiggy warp onto the screen, and then Shiggy just immediately collapses from his injuries. He's freaking out about being defeated while he bleeds out on the floor.
Yep. Bleed, bitch. You deserve it.
Bleed, baby, bleed. Disco Inferno.
What? What is this?
It's a song.
I've never heard that in my life.
You know,
It's
like Burn, Baby,
but
Burn,
with
Disco
bleed.
Inferno.
I still haven't heard of that in my life.
I swear to God, it was in a Shrek movie.
Nicole, I will send it to the group chat and you will listen.
Please
Yeah.
do, because either I've never heard of it in my life or I've forgotten it, which is very likely because I have no memory lately.
It'll probably be familiar to you. It's a disco classic.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think they said something about disco this morning on the news. Anyway, my first note for this section was, thank God we finally left USJ. I can breathe again. I was feeling so claustrophobic in that damn dome.
Yep.
I feel this. I feel like we were constantly on edge for weeks, which, to be fair, we were.
Mhm.
Literally. Yeah.
Mhm. So Shiggy thinks All Might is still at peak health, despite being informed / convinced otherwise earlier. So he says, "You were wrong, Master." And a voice responds from a computer monitor, assuring Shiggy that the info was right and they just weren't prepared enough. So this is our first intro to the real main villain of this series.
Yeah. And also the parallels between Shiggy broken on the floor while seeking validation from his master, just like Izuku was not 5 seconds ago. Like there is so much symbolism there. We're going to have so much. What?
Sorry.
You were going in and out there, hon.
Sorry. I
okay.
said, oh, the parallels.
Yes.
Mhm.
We're going to have so much to talk about.
Oh my God. So the voice asks whether Nomu was retrieved, or maybe it was a different voice. It's a little unclear. So Kurogiri answers no, because he can't warp him back. He can't warp Nomu back without knowing the exact coordinates. And the voice is clearly pissed. And I thought it was the same voice that calmed down very quickly, but apparently it's not.
Yeah, it's probably clearer in the dub for me because just the native English speaking, but it is actually two voices speaking through the monitor, and we'll figure out who they are in just a minute.
Yeah, in the subs, you have to pay attention to the different inflections. It's two voices, but they do sound weirdly similar. But one is more erratic and the other one is more soothing and nonchalant. Also, one has a higher pitch than the other one.
Yep.
The only reason I could pick up on this was because my voice does the same thing, like in two different languages. It'll whenever I speak Spanish, it goes into a higher pitch. So
Yeah.
it's two
See,
different
I just
voices.
thought-
Just like,
Yeah, I thought his voice changed because he was mad, because that happens a lot. Like people's inflections will change dramatically with emotion.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
but yeah, anyway, it was two voices.
Yep, technically.
They're both big ass villains, and we'll find that out so much later.
Yeah.
So Shiggy notes to his master that there was one kid, Izuku, who was as fast as All Might, and the voice is intrigued. And Shiggy's decided to blame Izuku for his defeat instead of his own mistakes.
Yeah, and we will see this childish obsession carry through the next season and beyond.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this is classic narcissistic behavior in which Shige cannot see nor accept his fault, but would rather blame everyone else. And in this case, he has like a specific target.
Yeah. This
That's
is
a
also
great
very
point.
common childish behavior. And we
Mhm.
definitely
Yep.
got a lot of evidence that Shiggy's been trapped in some kind of juvenile mindset.
Mhm. So
But
much
again,
trauma.
We'll get to it. So the voice is like, well, never mind that weird kid. We'll figure it out eventually. In the meantime, go gather the elite, quote unquote. And it implies that Shiggy is meant to be the symbol of a new League of Villains that they're gonna gather together. So he's got to go out and find a whole bunch of like really high level villains. So we've got kind of a trope inversion foil situation happening here because we didn't have enough already. Hall of Mirrors, once again.
Yeah, please just stop beating us with the mirrors, Horikoshi. It's very rude. I bruise easily. Please stop. Also, the big bad, really both of them remain in the shadows like a bunch of bitches. So
Yeah. Yes. I just love being beaten in the head with metaphors and tropes and parallels. Thanks, Horikoshi.
yeah, thanks. Thanks so
Yep.
much.
So cut back. Blah, Christ above.
Blah, blah, blah.
Cut scene back to USJ where police/paramedics have arrived. Their response time sucks. Like this is like the second or third time this has happened. Is this an effect of hero dependent society or is Horikoshi making a comment?
Both. Both is good.
But the good news is a wild Tsukauchi appears. Yes, he's a cop, but he's also wonderful. So we'll just blame Horikoshi for his unfortunate occupation and continue thirsting.
Yes, exactly. And this is All Might's current boyfriend. And you will not convince me
Absolutely.
otherwise.
Yep. And so Tsukauchi reveals that, again, nobody got seriously injured except Izuku. But honestly, considering the circumstances, that's pretty goddamn impressive. Also, Hagakure is back. Her moment with Ojiro is kind of cute. She was with Shoto, apparently. Is this Horikoshi realizing he forgot her and then shoehorning in an explanation? Also, Ojiro, sweetheart, don't sell yourself short. You did awesome. You were basically alone down there and you held your own. So give yourself credit.
Yep, definitely. Is it Horikoshi forgetting or is it sus? We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Also, Shoto's blank expression while panicking internally that he might have hurt Hagakure is peak comedy. My poor son.
Mhm.
It's like our first flash of future Shoto.
Sweet boy.
I'm so excited.
So in this next point, listeners, I made a typo and I typed Ayame instead of Aoyama. But Aoyama inserts himself into the conversation with many a sparkle and rose petal. And he tries to get the other kids to ask where he was, but everyone's ignoring him except for Sue, who goes ahead and asks. Then our drama queen says, it's a secret. So, darling, quit acting sus. You're being too obvious.
Yeah. And I was the one who pointed out that it wasn't Ayame, it was Aoyama. And I do feel compelled to point listeners to Fruits Basket again if
So
you
good.
are needing content. You will love Ayame. I loved him as soon as he came on screen. And not only because he is also voiced by All Might's English voice actor.
Which is so funny.
The range.
The range, darling.
Ayame sparkles. They're both long lost soulmates. Now
Mhm.
imagine them meeting. Yuki would have a fucking heart attack.
Oh my God.
I feel like Kyo might
Back on the
also
roof.
have-
Back on the
He's
roof.
back on the roof.
He's never coming down again.
Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
God.
It would be great. It would be beautiful.
We need
Just
it.
all sparkles. Sparkles everywhere.
That'd be so beautiful. Listeners, fan art, please.
We need it.
So Kauchi tells the kiddos to go back to class for now, since they won't be interviewing them right away. And Sweet Sue asks about Aizawa and how he's doing.
Yeah, but why are they going back to class?
Mhm.
Go home, have some hot chocolate, take a week off. Damn it.
A goddamn break, for fuck's sake. They fucking need it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna tell myself that they were sent back to class for like an official head count before they got sent home.
No, go home. You can come tomorrow.
And then, as Sue is asking about Aizawa, we get a cut scene to Aizawa buried in blankets and bandages in a hospital bed. This poor man, he's got a lot of fractures. He's gonna have eye issues, which ain't great. They didn't even mention his elbow. And the shot of the bloody scarf just
The
hurts.
scarf.
Mm.
Eyes always hurt, and we're hurt with him.
Mhm.
Mhm. And then Mina asks about 13, and the shot of her like gaping black maw in the costume is kind of disturbing. She's got bad lacerations, but she will make it, so she's not as bad as she looks.
Yeah, and the big black maw is, I think it's just her costume, because she's also laying in a hospital bed, and her costume is not so subtly hiding her face.
Yeah, I love 13. That
Blah blah.
I love that 13 is a mystery, but I love her anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. She won't be a mystery for much longer when you catch up in the manga. Just saying.
Ooh, I wasn't even the one to say it this time.
Feeling spicy today.
Eh.
Well, you'll get there eventually. She'll appear at some point on your screen, so
Mm-hmm.
you'll understand then. So the next one the kids ask about is Toshi, but he was treated by Recovery Girl, so he's okay. And then Ochako and Ida ask about Izuku, like the good beans they are. He is also being treated by Recovery Girl, so he's okay too. And the relief on all the kids' faces that Izuku is definitely going to be okay is just so pure and so sweet.
I mean, they've been through the ringer, so it's nice that they have some good news for once.
Absolutely. And then the next point just says cat officer. I think my brain broke a little bit.
That's
Neko!
Yeah, there's an officer who's a cat. It's kind of adorable.
and he has a bell.
It's so great. And then Katsuki, meanwhile, is staring back at the building, USJ, and replaying Izuku's leap into action to protect All Might just over and over in his head. These kids, I swear to God.
Is it his crush, or is it that he realizes Izuku and All Might have similar speed abilities? The answer is both.
Yep.
Your honors, these bitches. Gay!
Yep.
So
Ugh.
much.
Gay and ridiculous, which honestly, synonyms.
Yep.
So cutscene back to the inside of the arena. Nezu is like, well, fuck, maybe we should do something about this. Better beef up security. You think?
Really?
Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Hate this rat.
And then Midnight makes a comment that warping abilities are really rare, so it sucks that a person with a quirk is a villain.
Yeah, and I sobbed.
Mhm.
Also, Nezu suspiciously doesn't even make a comment about Kurogiri. Is it suspicious, or is it a red herring? I don't know yet.
I don't even know if that particular part is that suspicious.
It's suspicious because I say it is. I just need to know who the traitor is.
Yes, ma'am. So cut back to outside. Tsukauchi informed everyone that they found Nomu. Nomu is more or less unresponsive and super docile. So it's kind of implied that he can't really think for himself.
Mhm.
Tsukauchi asks permission to search the rest of the grounds too. And Nezu's like, totes my goats, my dude.
Yeah, and I thought he agreed to that way too eagerly. But again, I really just hate him. So you can make your own analysis there.
He could be sipping tea and you'd be like, heckin' sus.
I hate him. Have you seen what happens when he drinks tea? It's not
I
good.
remember.
There are so many things that happens when he drinks tea, and it's not, none of them are good. Anyway, my vehement hatred for this rat probably means he's not the traitor, but we'll see.
But yeah, we'll see.
We still don't know. Okay, my next point was that me telling Midnight that she could say hi to Tsukauchi. Like, they're biffles. It's okay to say hi.
She plays it so cool. Ice
So cool.
Queen.
Yeah, I love it. Honestly, it would be more sus if he didn't let the Popo go do their jobs. And anyways, if Nezu had anything to hide, he wouldn't do it in plain sight because boy is slippery.
Yeah, well, that's why he's eagerly telling the cops to go look, because if he's doing a thing, there's going to be no evidence of it. And him being eager to let them in is going to have the cops think that he's not a player in it. So,
You know that meme of the guy in like a room with a whole bunch of red string everywhere and
Yes.
stuff taped all over the walls? That's
that's
you.
me. That's my brain.
Pacific
I
Rim.
love you.
Yeah.
Pacific Rim, also a great movie. Should go watch it.
Oh, is that from Pacific Rim? I love that movie.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Another really excellent one. Anyway, cutscene to the school where the kiddos have just arrived and it's sunset already. So they've been there all freaking day. They've been fighting all freaking day. And Izuku and Toshi are in beds in Recovery Girl's office. And I loved when Recovery Girl was like, well, I guess I can't scold you this time. I thought that was kind of funny.
It was very funny. Also, just All Might's feet, just the feet.
Or Koshi, you and your foot fetish.
All Might is so tall that he can't fit on the bed. They're probably student sized.
He is so tall, even in small form.
Seriously, bro.
And then Toshi reveals that he might have limited his All Might form even further by overdoing it during the fight.
Yeah, and Izuku is concerned.
Yep. But then Tsukauchi comes in and it's revealed that he and Toshi are bros and he's one of the people who knows Toshi's secret, like the entire story. So he tries to ask about the incident and Toshi cuts him off to ask about the other students and the teachers who got hurt because he's a sweet boy, man.
Yeah.
He's not a boy, he's a man.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and he rather obviously asks about Aizawa by name and like, we see your crush, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Toshi just wants to make sure everyone's okay, especially his work husband.
Exactly. So Tsukauchi is very quick to reassure them that everyone's going to be okay, more or less. And he believes, well, you know, physically they'll be fine. And
There's
he
still the
believes,
trauma.
yeah. And Tsukauchi believes that without the teacher's efforts, the kids definitely would have died. But Toshi steps in. He was like, "Naho, our kids were incredible. They totally pulled their weight. Literally, no other class before them has been challenged so hard and so quickly. So give them the credit they're due because they're super strong and they're going to be strong heroes." And A, this is really inspiring. Thank you, Toshi. B, bro, you got no clue. Just wait. Just wait. They're going to blow you away. They're going to give you a million gray hairs. They're incredible. Also, Class 1A is already being singled out as special. And this will feed into the rest of the series.
Yeah. All Might is so freaking proud of his kids because he knew that they were strong, but now they have truly proven how strong they are.
Mhm.
And this is all with like minimal training. It also gives a clue to the viewer that if this is how strong they are now, who knows how strong they will be in the future when they actually know how to like control their quirks.
Mm.
Definitely. Also, yes, hello, Aoyama. We see you looking into camera.
As
I know,
always.
it's so creepy.
Yeah.
Also, Recovery Girl is smiling like a proud grandma, and I am absolutely here for it.
Oh, for sure. We got this like cutscene to the setting sun and a montage of all our babies' little determined faces. My goodness, they're so young. Also, Kiri's little pout. He's just
Pout.
a baby, Your Honor. He's just a baby.
Oh, he's so cute.
It's so cute.
Also, the music choice, very inspiring.
Yep.
They all look like they're ready to take on the world, and I am so proud.
I'm so proud. And then Toshi does this like thumbs up thing, and then Izuku does a serious little nod back. Why is everyone being adorable today?
Too much to handle. Everyone has won, and there's no inhibitions, and it's a beautiful sunset, and the season ends on such a lovely high note.
Mhm.
God, so many feelings in these last couple of minutes. It's gorgeous and hopeful and sweet and especially knowing what's to come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's just bask in this moment for like 3 seconds.
It's a good moment.
Such a good moment. And then we get the end credits, and this time we got a recap of the season instead of the original credits. And I can't believe they're already gone. I didn't appreciate them enough last week.
You can always go back and watch them, hon.
Shh. So you're harsh in the vibe.
Don't ruin the vibe, Nicole.
I guess you're correct. I will continue to rewatch forever. And then after we've had that beautiful moment, time for the season 2 preview. So Izuku leaves Recovery Girl's office finally. He's all healed up. And as he's running home, we get this ominous line. The USJ incident was only the beginning of what would become a major incident later. And then we're thrust right back into adorable shit because Ochako and Tenya waited up for Izuku. What good beans. I love them. And we're brought crashing back down with, but I had no way of knowing at the time. Cue ominous music as the camera pans over the city until we come upon a shrouded figure perched on a rooftop with the world's most terrifying tongue. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, whoever this is, they stole Aizawa's stance. Rude.
Yes, I'm so hype.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the episode, and that's the fucking season. So yeah, take it away, Nicole.
All right, we are going to start with some of the manga differences. For chapter 20, the literal only thing I made a note of is that Shiggy's crusty ass fingernails were far too prominent in that panel, and I did not enjoy. Yeah,
I don't like
gross.
it.
No. So then in chapter 21, we get a few more differences. We see Snipe, and his dialogue is a lot more old Western. I think he says y'all at some point, which was cute.
Oh my God. I love it.
I might have misheard it in the anime or just missed it entirely, but the League of Villains, as it was at USJ, was apparently just a bunch of cheap mercenaries. And Shiggy and the remaining 4 just keep the name going forward.
I think they very briefly alluded to it.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking.
Yeah, and I think they go more into depth with it in the next season.
Okay.
That
makes sense. The next part is Mina's line asking about 13 is technically anime only, even though it doesn't really affect anything.
Rude.
Yeah. They changed the appearance of the officer who tells Tsukauchi about the Nomu, which why? Heteromorphic erasure. Rude. Also,
Jesus, that blows.
Yeah. It wasn't fun. And finally, chapter 21 also includes some panels from the season 2 premiere. So that was fun. I turned the page and I was like, oh, hello. Okay. Turn back. And that's it for the differences. So not that many this time. And then finally, we have our Easter eggs and fandom theory roundup. The first note I have is connections to the Vigilantes spinoff series, namely with Tsukauchi, Aizawa, Midnight, Kurogiri, and Present Mike. For those who haven't read the Vigilante spinoff or those who didn't know why they should, this episode is kind of why. Tsukauchi actually knows Aizawa, Midnight, and Present Mike, at least very casually, as you will see in the Vigilantes arc. Also, I didn't write this down, but the villain that we just saw in the preview is also in Vigilantes, but we're going to talk about that more later.
Yeah. On that, we talk about Aizawa and Present Mike a lot because they've been getting a lot of screen time lately. But Midnight also features pretty largely in Vigilantes, which is great because we get a lot more background info on just a better sense of her personality.
Yeah, it's really great. So go read them.
Yeah.
Also, Midnight talking about Kurogiri made me choke up a little, not gonna lie, and we'll probably discuss this more in season 5.
Oh, we're gonna have to.
Yeah, I'm not ready. My next point is the UA trader the status of the subplot as well as additions to the suspect list. Now, I did these notes before I did the notes for our wrap-up episode, so we're going to go into it a lot more in the next episode, but just know that my personal suspects now include Snipe and 13. We'll talk about it.
Hey, take back what you said about my wife.
No, she's suspicious.
That's my wife.
Yeah, I know. She's sus. We'll talk about it.
No, she's perfect.
We're going to go over it, and Fern's going to be mad.
Pushed Fern's button.
How
Literally.
dare you?
I ain't scared. You'll see. Also, Nezu did not help himself in this episode, as we heard in my vehement hatred of the rat earlier. So I'm not going to go over that again, but just know I hate him. Also, Aoyama certainly didn't help himself in this episode by keeping his location a secret, but being so weird about it at the same time. It just contributes to the theory on him, even though I personally don't think he's the traitor. But also Hagakure did not help herself either. And we'll get to that more in the next episode, because there's some theories out there that I find hard to not believe. It's so much, y'all. Just I'm sorry for the next episode.
Yeah, the next episode, we are really going to get into it. I'm very excited.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm also very excited.
Yes. All right. And my last point is just on the villains, old and new. And that is, now that the league is pretty much decimated, we're down to basically just Kurogiri and Shigaraki. And Shiggy is obviously very injured as he bleeds out, as he deserves. We also learned that there are at least 2 other people working behind the scenes, namely the Master and whoever else was talking from behind the screen. We know who the other dude is, and we'll talk about it soon, because when does it come up next? Is it the camp arc or the sports festival arc?
We will find out.
I think a lot.
Yeah, we'll find out, because it's a lot. And as soon as we find out, I'm going to be like, that's what it was. And I'm also going to forget this was even a point in this episode. And finally, we also see Stain, and Stain is complicated, especially after the recent manga chapters. But we are going to save that for the next episode. So please tune in to our next episode, which is the wrap-up episode. And we are going to get full-on spoilery, y'all. If y'all have been waiting for spoilers and just a full-on discussion, this is it.
We're going to let loose the floodgates. It's going to be awesome.
Yep, I'm excited.
Oh yeah, so much will be said. What is that?
What is what?
Oh, it's people outside.
I was about to say, it sounds like a car.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all
I've been
got.
hearing a lot of weird noises around my apartment complex today.
Oh, no.
Oh, fun.
Light a candle. Bring some bells.
So yeah, final comments. I don't have anything.
I'm so tired, but so excited.
This was a lot.
Yeah.
I'm glad next week is a break. We need to recover from this season.
God, just imagine future seasons.
I don't wanna.
Or
But also I do wanna. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
when we get to the second movie, I feel like we're all going to be broken up inside.
Oh my goodness. I will be plastered,
I'll be on the floor.
Yeah.
Just on the floor.
weeping.
Yep.
All right. Well, this has been My Hero Analysis. You'll hear us next week, I think. Time is weird. And in the meantime, go beyond plus ultra and thirst responsibly. Bye, y'all.